right. I think I get my stream deck working here and again. But Skip is missing again. He probably went to the Zoom room. Oh, wait, there he is.
There we go.
You try to message a guy 20 minutes before a webinar, and he just goes.
Hey,
so I'm just eating my
members
breakfast.
come first, man. Members come first.
Oh.
Sorry.
All right. So today I'm actually working on a new intro because evidently StreamYard allows us to do some fun things. And I do not know Adobe Premiere well enough to get a simple countdown timer going. You can't just like go into Adobe Premiere and say, hey, look, you know what would be really useful? A countdown timer. They don't have one. You have to build one from scratch. Like you would think that would be a common item to put in there.
Don't want to make it too easy for you.
So, all right. So today we're kind of like expanding upon what we did last week, and that is strategy building for 2024. Because the idea is that most people wait until January to build their strategy with their clients. This is very, 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 very wrong on multiple levels. Because strategy requires forecasting. If you are stuck in firefighting mode, it's because you aren't strategizing ahead of time. If you plan, if you aim at nothing, don't be surprised when you hit it, is the saying, right? And so we're trying to get you to think August, September, that is when you plan out your next year. So that when you get into firefighting mode, you don't have to worry about coming up with a strategy. You already have one. Mm-hmm. And if you go out to like our events at humanizeit.biz/events, we plan out the entire year of what we're going to talk about. So when I send the newsletter to everyone, it's not a matter of, man, what are we going to talk about this week? It's I go over to the events calendar, I pull it up, and I think, oh, now's the time of the year that I need to talk about strategizing for the next year. These are the topics I need to cover. I don't really think about it because we've already planned out what we're going to do.
Well, here's a cool part where they help me out. So, every once in a while you go on these, crazy camping trips and you can't join and do the community update. So I'm getting ready. I'm meeting with members just like I was today, going through stuff. And it's like, oh, shoot, here we go. I got 5 minutes until the community update. What are we talking about again? What am I supposed to do? And I bring up the playbook. It shows everything there. And it's all mapped out for me. I already know what to do. If I've planned ahead, great. If I'm running late, no worries. It's all there. And that's where you can really help yourself out in the future is to lay these things out because yes, there are going to be fires. Yes, you are going to be pressed for time, so many different times, but get it set now and you'll make your life easier in the future.
Yeah. You ever like been with one of those people that like they have like everything together, it seems? Look in their hand. They probably have a planner. They're probably using that planner to keep them in line. Like your brain doesn't naturally track all this stuff. The trick is you have to have a plan. And I am the guy, throw me into the middle of the fire and let me solve the problem. That's my strength. I am a terrible planner, but I've learned that my abilities are augmented when I do have a plan running in the background so that I don't have to think about this stuff. I just do. And so there's times when I say I need to strategize. So that's like my Friday afternoons. That's my my reminders that are set in my calendar throughout the year. Like, Adam, you need to work on this stuff. And if I didn't have those in the calendar, wouldn't do it. Like it would be November. I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to plan out 2024. Okay, I need to get to that. I'm busy right now. I'll do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow becomes tomorrow, and it keeps going until suddenly it's January 1st. I have no plan, and now I'm losing time. I am literally burning my schedule because I don't have a plan. And this is how a lot of MSPs end up in this war zone of, I'm always firefighting. I'm always doing break fix. I'm never getting ahead. And it's because you have to make that choice ahead of time. Where do you want to be in January, February of next year? Do you still want to be in the same place you are today? Maybe you're in a
Well,
high
and
growth
sometimes,
situation right now and you want to continue that. Okay.
yep, and sometimes it's just tracking what you know you're already going to do. So the meeting I just came off of, we're working with one of our members. They're refreshing their CES playbook for next year. All right. It's summer. They're working hard. They've already done a bunch of work. They are well into their planning cycle for 2024. And I bring up key stakeholder interviews, right? Because I like those. Those are, my favorite pet project. And I told them, you guys are already doing these, but too many times they're reactive and you aren't intentionally doing key stakeholder interviews. So why don't you put them in your playbook so that you'll know you're going to get these things done? And sometimes that is the most important thing. It's just where you're going to do things and when you're going to do the things you already know you're going to do, and you want to schedule to those.
Yeah. So if I look at my schedule here, so Skip talks about how key stakeholder interviews are a big thing. So here, let me just share my screen real quick. How do I do that in StreamYard? First, I got to find my tab, and then I can share my screen. Right? Present. Ooh, it gives me options. Wow, this is great. I actually have control, unlike Zoom. Kudos to StreamYard for this. So once this pops up, you're going to see that we have our humanizeit.biz events. So you go over here to events, schedule, and I highly recommend you as an MSP, you have this yourself. Do a schedule that your clients can understand. I don't know how many people drive to your site, but you can come down here and I can see here's our podcast, here's our YouTube channel, here's our events calendar, what's coming up. We got our live trainings. We actually have another webinar coming up. This is the last webinar we did. But if you come over here, you can see 2023 roadmap. When are we going to talk about key stakeholder interviews? Let's look. I'm sure it's fuzzy on your guys' screen, but here you can see that we go down. Oh, look, week 3, January. Just when you start them. So you put these things on your calendar so that you can move forward with being successful. Oh, I didn't share it for you Zoom people. You people still stuck on Zoom. I need to get people moved over. We still got a couple people on Zoom. Ha! Of course, it's Richard Lapek.
Well,
I did put over here on the schedule. So for those of you who are in the past, if you go to the schedule and Skip, you can check this out too. I now have the new community update link out here. So you'll get a link to a Google Calendar or Outlook Calendar event that you can download and add wherever you want to watch this to it. So enjoy that link. I'm going to go ahead and close that so we don't get all over my calendar. But you come down here and you can add that in. But the idea is you can also look at our annual roadmap. Plan your roadmap around that. It's a great thing. Plan your roadmap around ours. Like, what do you need to do and when? We've already got it done. We have built this roadmap over what? How long have we been doing community updates? 5 years? We hone it every year. So I'm actually working on the 2024 annual roadmap. There'll be some tweaks to this. And you'll see, like, I even have some of the old ones, like here that we really like. You want to talk about road mapping, you want to do architecture audits from 2022. That's how organized we are. Skip and I are not machines of organization. What you need to know is this is how you appear organized. Having a plan. And why do I know I need to do annual planning in September? If I scroll down on my, scrolling down the wrong window here. If I scroll down to where are we at? It's June, July, August. Interesting. I have questions here about we need to start talking about the fourth quarter. We need to start talking about these activities every year. If I didn't have this on here, I wouldn't be reminded. All I did was I came in here on Monday when I wrote the NAN, well, Tuesday this week, when I wrote the NAN, and that went out to everyone. And I looked and said, what are we talking about this week? Oh, yeah, this is the fourth quarter edge week. Well, we talked about that last week. Well, what are we going to do this week? And it's what's the deep dive?
Well, here's the cool part about this as well. Because you want to get better, right? I don't think anybody has these expectations that they're going to start out and be perfect, all right? And if you don't know what you're doing, how are you going to get better at it? If you're running plays in your playbook here and you run them for a little while and you realize this one doesn't work really good, well, stop doing it or fix it. And you may find others that work really, really well. Well, you may want to do more of those. But if you don't start with a playbook, if you don't start with a plan, you don't really know. You're still just guessing on what is going to work for your organization or not. So you got to make a plan. You got to start running it, and then you can make yourself better.
Yeah. Have a plan, people. And so what we want to be able to do is follow it. And so what I want to talk about, guys, about this week is when you go to your client and you're running. So Skip, one of the things Skip works with you guys on when you first onboard is that customer or that client engagement playbook. And that is what keeps you honest and professional throughout the year. I will meet with my client and talk strategy when? August. It's going to be in your playbook. Did you do an annual planning strategy session? If it's not on your calendar, get it on the calendar. Did you do a QBR? Did you do a backup and recovery or a DR planning session with your clients? These are all things that you need to know how to do and be able to explain to your clients. And then when you show up to your client and say, hey, look, we got to do our annual planning strategy planning session, and it's August, they're like, wait, you're planning out 2024 already? Like, yes. You're now reminding them to do the same thing. Hey, by the way, here's the journey we want to take you on in 2024. Here is where we want to go with your business. We think this is going to help your school / business / daycare, whatever the client is. We want to give them a roadmap. And then you'll say, it'll cost this much. And use your budgeting tool to work through 2024. And it's going to help your business in these ways. So I'm telling you as MSPs, as I'm working in the same capacity you work with your clients. I'm telling you guys, here is your 2024 roadmap for client engagement. It's free. It's the cost of the tool to be able to display this for your clients. And it's going to make you more money because you're going to be consistently delivering products and meeting with your clients for the whole year on your terms too. And so that is a big thing, is you are meeting with the client on your terms. What is it that you wanted to do with them, and how are you going to talk to them about it? This is how you build successful clients over time. You don't do it by randomly meeting with them and saying, okay, let's talk about tickets. That's why you talk about tickets, because it's the only thing on top of your mind. It's the only thing you can think of to talk about because it's the most important thing to you. But if you were to have a plan, say, hey, I need to talk to them about budget every quarter. Hey, where are we going? Or maybe this client is a larger client. You're going to talk about budget for the entire year and then break it up into quarters. Well, that's why we have a tool for that, people. And so we want you to have that same delivery with your clients that we do with you, where they feel professional. Oh, I logged out, of course. Where they feel professional, where they believe in you and what you're doing, because you are organized. You're hitting up things. They're not waiting for you to tell them what to do. They're actually coming to you, or you're coming to them with a plan.
Yep.
I'm coming to you with a plan. Skip is coming to you with a plan.
I know I get feedback from a lot of members. I'm like, oh, that sounds great. I'd love to do that, but we don't have time. We talk about the tickets and then there's no time left over. I tried to do that in the last meeting, but we ran out of time because the ticket conversation took too long. right? The ticket conversation is important. I'm not saying you don't have that. You have that at the right time. So if there is a strategy session that you want to do, you've got to be intentional. You've got to plan that out separately so that you can tell your customer, we're going to talk about tickets in this meeting, but next week we're going to have another one. We're not going to talk about tickets. We're going to talk about strategy. And set the expectations for yourself and your customer.
Yeah. So if you walk into a customer and like if it's really important for you to talk about tickets, put that on your strategy calendar. So I will talk and do a ticket review or an operational review with my clients, a tactical analysis of our engagement with the clients once a quarter, once a month, whatever it is. Put it on your client engagement playbook. That's okay, because at least you're planning ahead so that when you do a QBR, people will be like, oh, can we talk about these tickets, please? Like, you know what? We can talk about after the meeting, or we can talk about them during our tactical analysis. And that's where if you use the personas, it suddenly becomes important. Yeah, stop talking about tickets. So if you use a persona, you can have an operations persona, and then you can have a QBR persona, and you can have a vCIO persona. What do these bring to the table? So here we're just kind of made a silly one where we put down the agenda, what it's going to look like. And then below we can have our budget. We can have review of projects that are open, whatever it is. But then the client goes, what about tickets? Like, well, that'll be during our operations review next week or in 3 weeks. I've got a really urgent ticket I need to talk about right now. I'll tell you what, at the end of the meeting, we'll ring in, looks like Bob's on this particular ticket. We'll get him going and we'll solve that problem really fast. But right now we got to get through your budget and what projects are going on next quarter. Otherwise, we're going to get super distracted by a single ticket. You're adding context to meetings, and that's part of strategy. If you walk in point blank and they say, I've got a ticket to talk about, or you get sidetracked on tickets, it's going to take up your whole meeting. You're going to walk out with no new revenue, no approved projects, and no engagement for the next quarter because you talked about today. And today is important, but that's tactical. So having a strategy starts in August of the prior year. You gotta think that far ahead because people are planning out budgets. They're trying to see, how did 2023 go? Where are we going to land at the end of 2024? What kind of budget can I approve for 2024? Like, I'm looking at, hey, we've had a good year for sales. Maybe next year will be as good, or maybe next year there's going to be another recession, or there's going to be some deepening issues. I've got to look at that as a business owner and say, how much do I want to approve for next year? And if you come to me as an MSP with an idea of what you want to do, say you throw in, let's go with the budget here. You throw a budget in front of me in August and say, hey, look, I can help your success next year if you will approve this budget. And the client goes, oh, let me put that forefront of mind. So when I'm carving out my budget and trying to figure out what I'm going to approve for next year, then the next vendor comes in and says, hey, you should really be doing this with us, our marketing and strategy. Like, it's not going to have as much impact as the MSP is with their operational support. You got first to their mind. You already showed them how they were going to be successful, and you're in their head as a strategy. Because most people won't talk about the next year until December. They're trying to meet their end of quarter quotas. They're trying to push really hard and trying to get everybody in when they can. And then they'll try to hit the January 1st quotas because everybody ran out of budget last year. And now we're sitting in January 1st and they're all approving things. You come in August with that plan, show them how they're going to be successful, the journey you're going to take them on and how it's going to help their business. Then you're going to end up in a much, much better place than all your competitors. So Richard Bauer, stop talking about tickets. Let ops handle that. You want to focus on the bigger things. It takes client coaching, but eventually the client gets it and gets excited for strategy discussions. To this day, I have never walked into a client and started talking strategy and then them being like, what are you doing? It's always like it's almost like you see their eyes unfuzz and engage every single time. And I talked to a lot of you members about that too. Like, what happens? What happens when you actually engage the brain of the person across the table? When you get on a topic that they like, when you know, to use our date example, when you're on a date with somebody, you start talking about Star Wars, and they're a huge Star Wars nerd. Suddenly, they're super into this. When you go to a business and you start talking about their business and talking about how you're going to help their business succeed through this new technology that's out there, you're going to help them with ChatGPT and support. You're going to help them with pushing more product to, or more looks to their website because of this new cool feature. You're going to help their teachers have a better classroom situation with smart boards. Whatever it is, you're going to move them into a different engagement, and they're more likely going to approve a higher level budget for you. This might be a good time to revamp your contracts, because now you can say, hey, you know, in the past we've kind of been break fix, we just kind of handle tickets. What if we did this with you in 2024 and made you the premier school in the town? Oh,
And that's what they're interested in. I mean, just to restate that, talk about the things that they're interested in. They're not interested in tickets. So there is a time, there is a place where that is important to them, but don't confuse it with how you're planning out how their business is going to be successful. They know opening and closing tickets is not going to make them more money. That's something they have to take care of. So don't get the perceptions wrong there.
yeah, and that's why I'm keeping this week very simple, very clearly. What do you show them in August, September? You show them the journey. You show them how much it's going to cost, and then you show them how it will grow their business. And you can mix it up a little bit. Maybe you want to start with, hey, I got this great idea that's going to solve a lot of your problems with client engagement through a better user portal using Teams. I'm going to help you engage with your. I'm going to have you. You have a lot of culture. It seems like you had a lot of new hires this quarter, and I want to make sure that everybody's getting along. How about we do this collab software, or do a workshop on how to do collaboration in your business? And how about next year we make it so that your VPN is seamless, or your ability to access company resources is seamless from home, so that people are able to work more efficiently. You know, you're going to deliver this, and then you talk about price at the end. Do your sales mechanics, but do it now. Do it in September, August, and get that in front of them. And then in December, when you do your Q4 QBR, or do your Q1 review, or Q4 review and Q1 update, maybe in December around Christmas, they already have the roadmap in hand. They've used the proposal tool and they've approved the roadmap for 2024. It's already top of mind for them. That's how you build strategy. It takes you one session with a client in August or September. If you wait till December or January, the client is busy. They are thinking about other things. They're already looking down the barrel at their budget, all the cuts they need to make, all the additions they need to make. Everybody's asked. But if you're first at the table and you're looking professional in August, September, you will get more cash. And your client will appreciate it. Especially the CFO, that person that you've been trying to get in the room with. They're going to love you. You gave me all my expenses for 2024 already? Oh man, I need to be in the room with this person more often. Ask them some questions. Hey, I can adjust these. We can move more into CapEx, or we can move more into managed services. What are you trying to do with your budget? You want to try to stabilize it? These are questions that suddenly come up because now you're in the room with decision makers. Whew. Anything to add there, Skip?
Well, because of the echo, I can add it twice, right? So make a plan and work the plan.
Yeah, make the plan, work the plan. If you don't have a plan, you will end up somewhere. You're good people. You're very smart. You're very good at tactically thinking, but you're going to end up in some unplanned place. And that's why you stay in firefighting mode. It takes an hour to do this. If you're using Humanize IT software, it takes about an hour to build out an entire year. That's it. Now, if you want to go and audit them and do a full-on assessment and really build them up, it might take you 2 hours. So that is where you need to be. Don't think of this as something that a strategy session being something that's going to take days. Think of it something that's going to take in terms of minutes and maybe an hour, and it's going to change your year. If you want to know what to do next year, go to our events calendar, plot that on your calendar, see what it looks like. Add that so that you can see what things you should be doing every week. Maybe we should make a calendar and make it shareable so people can put it on their Google Calendar or their Outlook. So thanks a lot, Skip. Hoping everybody's kind of finding this new format a little bit more enjoyable than just Zoom. Being able to log in on Facebook, LinkedIn. Our social media numbers have been going crazy lately, so I need to find a better way to reach all of you who like watching this on the socials, who like engaging. Like the beauty of this is, if you miss it, then it'll be up later. So please comment on the videos, ask questions there. We will respond to them. We will engage you online. This is a much better way for us to communicate and make what we're trying to do a little bit more human for you. So thank you everyone for your time today, and we'll see you next week.